my two main goals are to convince people to start making music no matter where they are on their guitar journey. 1 day or 1,000 days. That's the first one. The second one is to show them how to bring their personality out on the instrument. You are the only you that exists. So we want to hear you when you're playing. And one of the major things we have at our disposal on a guitar that many other instruments don't have is vibrato and bending. So vibrato is where we are hitting a note and we are moving up and down through that note. Bend is where we play the note and we move up to another note. They are basically the same idea. So why is this the most expressive thing we can do on a guitar? Why? Because people love the human voice. When you're bending, you can create the sound of a human voice. How a singer sings, right? They are not robotic. They slide, they move, they glide from one note to another. Okay, and it's that creates emotion and expression. That's really what gives us that feeling. It's not perfect. A note played perfectly in tune is not as expressive, in my opinion, as one that moves around that. It tells you more of a story. You can tell a story in one note. So how do we bend? We're going to look at this in two categories. Physically, how do you bend on the guitar and vibrato? And then musically, how do you musically play? Let's look at the first one. How do you bend? Now, I've seen a lot of guitar players, especially beginner and intermediate players, bending and vibratoing with their fingers. Okay, now what I mean by that is, obviously we're using our fingers, but what I mean by that is they're playing a note and then they're pushing the string up or down from underneath the string with their finger. So their hand comes up this way. So the way I bend and suggest that you bend any time you bend is to use your wrist. The action, the actual movement, the strength you're getting is in your wrist. So what I want you to imagine that you're doing now is you're holding a cup of water and you're going to pour it out like this. Or you've got a set of keys and a door and you're turning them. Or you've got a handle and you're turning it, okay? This kind of motion, okay, like a screwdriver. As you're doing that, as you make that motion, your hand turn, your fingers are naturally pushing round, okay? And the strength on the string is going to go through mainly your second and your third finger. They're your strongest fingers. I want you to use those today. You push up like this using your wrist, not your fingers like this. Fingers going up. Here's your wrist. Okay, let's go to fret 9 on the G string. We're going to think about vibrato to begin with. All right, now I'm going to use my ring finger to do this because you've also got two fingers behind it. Your ring finger has got two other fingers behind it to help it on its way. So to begin with, let's pick that on the G string, 9th fret. And then behind it, my middle finger is kind of on the 8th fret. It doesn't really matter as long as it's on the string. And the reason we're doing this again is about strength. If I just had my ring finger down, that's I'm doing all this kind of motion. If I got all three fingers down at the same time, those two extra fingers that are down on the string are going to help me control this down-up vibrato movement. Have a go at playing, picking the note and just moving it up and down. Try it in different ways, try it at different speeds. Get used to that kind of movement, that motion, that up and down motion. Now, I'm going to add a caveat here. I've got another video about muting. When I play like this, and I suggest you do this strongly, I mute the rest of the strings on the guitar. If I'm going to mute the rest of the strings apart from that G string, I can play all through my 6 strings and only hear that one note. I've got another video about muting, so I'm going to go quite quickly through this, but please go and watch the other video about muting. I'll put it in the description. So I'm going to bring my thumb over the neck. That's going to mute the low E and the A string, okay? So they're completely muted. I'm not putting any pressure down. My third finger is down on the 9th fret, and then I've got this bar from my first finger across the B and the E strings. And we're going to play that note, going through all the strings if you want to, because they're all muted, apart from the one that you want. Have a bit of a go. Sit and just get used to doing that. If we're thinking about bending, it's the same principle, but we're going to push that note slightly further. Now in this case, I've still got my thumb in the same position, but in this case, I'm kind of bunching my first and second finger up a little bit closer to give more strength underneath that string. And it's the same principle, but this time we're going to use that strength behind the string and the muting. Okay, now this is a real test for your ears, because it depends what note you're trying to bend to. You might be bending to the next fret up. That's called a semitone, just one fret away. You might be bending a whole tone away, which is 2 frets. Okay, it depends on the song that you're playing. Okay, so let's say that we are bending to this. We're bending a whole tone, and we're going to bend up to the 11th fret on the G string. Okay, the first thing you need to know is actually what that note sounds like. So here, listen to it to begin with. So that's the tone that we want. You can sing it if you want to. I suggest doing that. Sing that note and then come back down to your 9th fret, and then you're going to hit the note and see if you can come up to. Now you're not going to hit it perfectly every time, but that's, in my opinion, that's a good thing. If you are pushing just into the note and even possibly slightly further than the note, as long as you're not hanging on it for too long, that's where expression is. Okay, singers don't land exactly on a note perfectly every time. The best singers ever don't do that. Okay, and a lot of AI nowadays, AI created music, have convinced people that singers hit these notes absolutely perfectly. I can hear it straight away. It doesn't sound as good. It is my opinion. It doesn't sound as good. It doesn't sound human. We want to hear humans playing. It's really important. You are a human. Be a human. Some players bend up to the note and then go slightly further. They might not quite hit the note. It's to do with the idea that you want to get across at the time. It depends on the situation that you're in. Literally sit, play the note that you want to hit. Okay? And then go back to the note that you were previously playing and see if you can hit that. Do this a lot. It will take a long time to get your ear to like that, to like doing that. But make it part of your practice schedule. Make it part of the first thing you do when you pick up the guitar. So if you're going to bend with your second finger, it's the same kind of principle. Okay? You've got your first finger behind it, and that's going to help you anchor, and that's going to help you push. The second part of this is bending with musicality. That depends on the context that you're playing in. So musicality, this is where you come in. This is your musical voice that we want to get out. We want to get your personality to come through the instrument. Your homework is to listen to lots of different players and lots of different ways that they bend a string. I'm going to play a variety of different ways. We can be really inventive with this. There's so much you can do with it. We can also start on the bend, start at the top of the bend. Okay, so you're starting on the note, your target note, and coming back to it. You can combine them both together. Now we can also talk about the speed at which you bend. So you can go straight up to the note that you want to hit, or you can go slowly. Depending on the idea you want to get across. So in this phrase, we're going to push up on the 9th fret, and then we're going to end up on the 7th fret. This is all on the G string. I'm not bending with it. I'm not going to go up and I'm not going to push up to bend with this first finger, but I'm going to vibrato with it. Again, you can see, I'll show you it again. Can you see the motion? The tipping of the water, and then very, very quickly be inventive with it. Make it your own. Make a phrase of your own out of it. It doesn't have to be a full song, just a phrase, 2 notes. Think, okay, how inventive can I be with this? Can I move slowly through that first bend and then end slowly on the second note? Or quickly? Or maybe we'll go up and back, up, down again. Okay, think about all the combinations you could do. Bend upwards. Pre-bend. These are all just using 2 notes, 2 strings, 2 notes on 1 string. Now that you've got that idea, do it all over the fretboard. It's now up to you to go and try to be as inventive as you possibly can with these bends. Okay? 2 note phrases, 3 note phrases, to make them your own, to bring your personality out through it, to really listen to which note that you want to hit. And, you know, I'd like to hear from you. What is it that you want to learn how to play? What has inspired you to pick the guitar up? And again, whether or not you're on your first day of your guitar journey or your 1000th day of your guitar journey, what made you pick the guitar up? Tell me the first time you heard maybe a solo or a song, a melody that has that kind of bend in it that really grabbed you, really expressive. I'm on the race to 50 subscribers, I guess, at the moment. So if you could help me with that, and look out for my other videos coming along, share anything, any ideas that you've got. And again, if you think I'm talking rubbish, let me know in the comments. Bye-bye.